So before starting any subject, we should know why we want to learn this subject. And the average marks, can anyone tell me what is the average marks of algorithm in GATE? Anyone having any idea? So average we can consider it as 8. Okay. So average we can consider it as 8. Okay. So it is an important subject. If we see in terms of GATE syllabus also, then also it is important. And if we think in terms of placement, then also it is very important. CE data structure and algorithm is like Bible for our computer science subject. Okay. Because if you are not having good command on CE data structure and algorithm, then even when you are doing MTech or even when you go for placement, then it will affect. Okay, so because now most of the product based company, first they will give you some questions for coding. So first you have to do a coding round. Means recently you can see that in old IITs this year the placement is very good compared to last year. They got more international offers. So this time, so when I was watching the video, they were saying that first round they were having this coding round. Okay, so that happened in October. Okay, means before December one is like your phase 1 placement started at December 1. Okay, so in IITs phase 1, phase 2 types like placement happen. In phase 1, all big companies like Microsoft, Google and product based company like Goldman Sachs, every big company got opportunity to come at phase 1. Okay, so you should have very good command in C data structure and algorithm. Okay, so now I am going to give you some important. So one thing I want to let you know, see from C you can get 8 marks, from data structure average 4, from algo you can get 8 marks. So now you can see what is the percentage of these 3. Okay, so 20 around you can consider. So see, it is also important in your GATE as well as in your competitive programming, means in your job. For job also it is important. Okay, so now we will see first some applications of algorithm. We are seeing in real time we are using daily basis algorithm. So when you are using Uber, Ola, then also there is a algorithm behind this, and that algorithm we consider as a transport system algorithm. Okay, so there are different types of algorithm. So there in Uber cab and Ola cab they are using algorithm for transportation system. So you can write some application of algorithm. So I am just going to give you some of the applications. It doesn't mean that it is bounded to that applications only. Okay, am I clear to all? Okay, Vinay. So write first autocomplete on Google homepage. So the autocomplete that we got in Google homepage, they are using many algorithms which are working behind. There are many. So please write fast. There are many algorithms which are at work behind it. Okay. Yeah, Arpit, good afternoon. Next, Google search engine. Here also many algorithm is there. Search on Google, FB, Amazon, big data, large volumes of data are to be processed using many data structure and algorithm. Next, right? Friend this one on FB. FB is your Facebook. Uber cab, Ola cab, that is transportation system, video streaming. So in a short form, we can say that every algorithm, every application make use of data structure and algorithm. Okay, so every application, whatever application you are going through it, like now only I am teaching you a live lecture. Here also so many data structure and algorithm are working behind to make it possible. So whatever application you are using, they are having many users of. So you can write every application makes use of many data structure and algorithm. We use different algorithm for different data structure, because sometimes we see that whether to use that algorithm in that data structure, it will give better performance. So depending upon the data structure also, some algorithm give better performance. Okay, so that you must have studied in data structure. So here we will only see algorithm. Okay, so is it clear? Anyone having any doubt here? Can I rub this part? This part can I rub? Yeah, Sandeep is saying clear. Arpit, yeah, everyone is saying clear. It is okay. So I am erasing. So now we are going to first see the asymptotic notation. See, in algorithm, what is algorithm? It is a set of instructions, that is a program, but there is a one thing you must remember, that algorithm is going to be always finite. Okay, is going to be always finite, means if there is some steps that you are saying that from here I want to go to Pune. Okay, so you should define a finite number of steps. So algorithm will always take finite number of steps, as I have told in TOC class that halting, Turing machine algorithm both are same. So like whenever you will design some algorithm, it should take finite number of steps and it should always halt, means it should always stop for every input. Okay, so that you must consider. So here, before going to write algorithm for searching and sorting, we will see in later classes. We will first see that given algorithm, how to find the time complexity of that, space complexity of that, because we generally not first implement the algorithm, means behind any application we not implement directly. We first write the code, means in paper, and then we analyze what it is going to be, its time complexity, space complexity. So first we do analysis, later we implement it, because after implementation if we see that that is taking more time complexity, if we used some other one, then it would be more better. So that's why we first analyze it. So for analysis we have some asymptotic notation. Okay, so that we are going to first learn. Later we will move to searching, sorting and all different kind of greedy, divide and conquer types of algorithm. All we will see later. Okay, it's all different method. Okay, so now give heading introduction to asymptotic notations. Introduction to asymptotic notation. So first one is your big O, that is, that we also called it as upper bound. Okay, So write first the definition of that. After finding out Fn. So let me first draw the diagram. You just first give some space. I will give you the definition here. So just have some space, and after then draw the diagram which I am going to draw now. Okay. So first I will draw the diagram, because later you will able to understand. See, here n is the size of the input. Okay. Here it is your time. Sometimes in book some say rate of growth. So both are same. So here it's rate of growth, means we are assuming that Fn is a function. Okay. So we are assuming that Fn is a function, like it is going like this. Okay. So we are assuming that Fn is a function so the rate of growth, it is the rate of growth of time. The rate of growth of time is nothing but time complexity as the input is increasing. So it is showing that Fn is a function, and with respect to n how it is increasing. Okay. So it is rate of growth of time with respect to input. Okay. So that we called as rate of growth is nothing but time complexity. So Fn is a function which is growing with respect to n. When n is growing, first it was there, down, then again growing. So this is a function which we are saying it is an Fn. Now we try to find some another function, we call it as g of n, such that after some input, after some value of n, that we call it as n0, means here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this is going on. So after some value of n, that function should always be greater than Fn. Okay. So let me first draw. See, let us assume that this is your function Gn. Okay. This is your function, that is Cgn. Okay. Cgn. This is a function such that after some value of n, this is your some value of n. Before this, that we call it as n naught. Before this, the value of this Cgn was smaller than Fn. See, here it is greater, Fn is greater, here it is Fn is greater, but here Cgn is smaller. So after the value of n naught, some value of n naught, let us assume 2, 3 or maybe 5, after some value of 5, its value is increasing, Cgn value is increasing, and that function we call it as a big O of Fn. Okay. Is it clear? Anyone having any doubt? So now write the definition. Okay. So we will now first write the definition. Yeah, right. After finding out Fn, so we find out Fn if we bound that function by, see here n is your input, in bracket you can write it as input, so don't get confused. Okay. That function where it was, if we can bound that function by some other function C Gn. Gn is your function. Okay. Here C is a constant. Okay. Positive constant. C is a positive constant. In such a way that after some input, that is n naught, the value of C Gn is always greater than Fn. Okay, so here you can write, so here in below I have written. Okay, so first write it, later I will write something. Is Cgn, so is Cgn is, what is it, ultimate function or other ultimate function or other, or there can be further more functions, sir. What is meant by ultimate function, Achar? There can be further more functions, sir. Means you are trying to ask that there can be more, whether there can be more function which can bound Fn. I mean, sir, only function. No, there can be more than means not only that CGN will be. We will see there can be more than some more function. Let us assume that I will clear later. So let us assume n. Okay, and let us assume n square. Let us assume if n is n and gn is your n square. Then for whatever value of n, 1, then 1, 2, 4, 2, but it is square, it will be always greater. So if I will consider another gn, n cube, then also it is greater. Okay, so it is not like that it is a unique, it need not be unique. More than one function can bound that Fn. Is it clear? Okay. So can I rub this? So I am going to rub this part, okay. So if you want, you can take the screenshot. So now after this, we drawn this one. So now we are going to write what is Fn and what is CGN, okay. So let f is a function, and please write it fast. F is a function of n, and n is the size of the input. N is the size of the input. What is n? N is the size of the input. Fn is the actual time complexity of a program. That I have told you that Fn is the time complexity of the program. Okay, actual time complexity of program, and it is increasing, as we increase the input. As we increase the input, it is increasing. Okay. So now how to represent it mathematically? We will write it mathematically. See, one thing you must note here, that I am saying that Fn is the actual time complexity. Fn is the actual time complexity. So whenever in exam or in any competitive exam, they generally ask what is the time complexity of insertion sort, merge sort, like some algorithm, linear search. So we give asymptotic notation, means we are bounding, or sometimes we will see big O, omega, we will see different types. So we are not giving the exact time complexity of that function, because it is difficult and it will depend upon many things about in which hardware we are doing. So we generally give asymptotic notation. An algorithm never means differentiate whether just there is an gate question, which I will solve later. Means there is an algorithm, they are asking that if we implement this algorithm in this machine, then whether, let us assume that this is your gate question, that there is two matrices, okay, and they are saying that here, so you must be aware about row measure and column measure. Are you know row measure and column measure? In array it was row measure, column measure. Please let me know. Yeah, you people know. So whenever we do multiplication, we take the first row from here and then we multiply with the first column of the second matrices. So in the question they are saying that if the element of first element are stored in row measure order, here they are saying that in this it is stored as a row measure order and here it is stored as column measure order. So they have given some options and they are asking for which of the options the algorithm will take faster time, okay, means which will be efficient. So whether it is storing a row measure or column measure, it is not going to affect in our asymptotic notation, because algorithm assume that to access any element from the data structure, from the hardware, it take constant amount of time. Implementation wise it will be faster if we stored it in row measure order and column measure order, but asymptotic notation, in asymptotic notation it is not going to differ. So we will see this question, but for now I am just to make you understand I have taken this. Whether it is clear or not, please let me know whether it is clear or not. Otherwise, I will take that question. Binay is saying clear. Arpit is also saying clear. Anyone having any doubt? Yeah. Okay. Okay. We will after some topic will over. Then we will. Malhar Patel is saying no. Malhar Patel, you can think that to access any element from our system, whether it is a row measure or whether it is a column measure, whether it is in a hardware hard disk or it is in memory, algorithm assume that it will take a constant amount of time. Okay, that I am going to try to tell you. Is it clear now, Patel? We will see that question later. So now I am going to mathematically how we represent it. Now write it. See, in algorithm there are some things you have to memorize it. Okay. So now it will not come the memorization part. Now it's like means till the beginning it is like maths only. So but in some point after some classes I will give you something to memorize it. Okay. Because it will help us to find the asymptotic notation, because from there they have asked many questions. Okay. So last 30 years I have seen the last 30 years paper. They have asked 15 questions from asymptotic notation and recurrence and for different topics they are asking. From time complexity they are asking. So it is like maths only. So you have to do practice. Okay. So now mathematically how we are going to represent, Fn is smaller than equal to Cgn. Okay. So that Fn is equal to big O of Gn. It means Fn is smaller than equal to, see here is smaller than equal to Cgn when n is greater than equal to n naught we have seen some input, and n naught is greater than equal to 1, C is any positive constant and C should be greater than equal to 1. So C should be greater than equal to 1, n naught should be greater than equal to 1. See, n naught will definitely be greater than equal to 1, because what is n? N is an input. Input can never be negative. Okay. So input will always going to be positive. The number of input, whatever, this is the value, the number of input what we are giving, so it will definitely going to be positive only. So n naught should be greater than equal to 1, C should be greater than equal to 1, and n should be greater than equal to 1. Means for n, when n is greater than equal to 1, then this condition will satisfy. Then only we can say that Fn is big O of Gn. And whenever I am saying that n is greater than equal to, so you have to take n as a bigger number. What I do, I always take n equal to 2 to the power 1024, because it is a bigger number. So while solving the problem, whenever they will give you two function and whether they will ask you which one is smaller than equal to, means they will ask you, they will give you some Fn and they will give you some Gn, and then they will ask you whether Fn is big O of Gn or Gn is big O of Fn. So in this case, whenever you want to compare any two function, take value of n means bigger number. Always take bigger number, because for a smaller number, that we have seen for some value of n it will be smaller. Okay. So for greater value of n, the Cgn is going to be the bigger one. Okay. So always take this bigger one, because whenever I taught in classes, some student used to take a smaller number. So that's why I am saying that always take bigger number. So now if this condition apply, then we can say that Fn is big O of Gn. So now we will see the problem. I will give you two function and you have to say whether Fn is big O of Gn or Gn is big O of Fn. So let Fn equal to 3n plus 2, and Gn equal to n. The question is, can we say that Fn is big O of Gn? Can we say that? Means can we say that Fn is smaller than equal to Cgn? Okay. So how we will do? To say See, this is our beginning, so I am writing everything. For later problem, I am not going to write anything. I will directly do. To say that Fn equal to big O of Gn, we have to find out two things. And what are that two things? Constant C and N naught. Okay, so if Fn is big O of Gn, then Fn must be smaller than equal to C Gn. So here Fn is your 3n plus 2, which must be smaller than equal to C n, because Gn here is n. Okay, so now for what value of C and for what value of n, that is n naught, it will be always greater. So how to find out? So by looking this, you can say that, see, there is 3n. So if I make a greater than equal to here 4, means it will always 4n. So how you can think? See, this function I am taking here value of 3. So what we get here? Here I am writing value of n in Fn and Gn. Okay, so I am assuming by seeing this we can say that C should be greater than equal to 4. Okay, so when I am taking it as 4, so Fn here I am getting 12 plus 2 14. C I am assuming C as 4 and n as also 4. Okay, C is 4. I am taking here C as 4. I am taking some constant. I am assuming that C should be 4. So now 4 4 16. See, now I am taking, I am assuming here, just I am taking any random number. N naught also I am taking as 4. Okay, I am not saying that n naught is 4, but I am just assuming. So now 5. So what we will get? 15 to 17. 3 5 15 to 17. Now 5 4 20. See, like this, when you will do like this, you will see that always C and Gn is going to be greater. So that by assumption, means by looking only that function, I got that C should be greater than equal to 4 only. Okay, so it should be 4 only. By seeing that, I guess. Okay, so but we will solve it later. How to find? Now see, you can write by looking this. See, I seen that here is 3n, so that's why I make it as 4n. Okay, so by looking this, C equal to 4, anything greater than 3, anything greater than 3 is better here. Okay, so I am assuming constant as 4 because C can be greater than equal to 1. Now we have to find the value of n naught. So 3n plus 2 is smaller than equal to 4n. So if I will send this 3n there, then what will happen? It will be n, and n will be, see, I am sending 3n here 2. So that is n. So n should be greater than equal to 2. Means when C is 4 and when n value is greater than equal to 2, then Gn is always going to be greater than Fn. Is it clear? Is it clear? Anyone having any doubt? Vinay is saying clear. Okay, so now write. So for every n, Patel is also saying clear. Okay, fine. So for every n, write greater than equal to 2 at C equal to 4, Fn is less than CGN. Therefore, Fn equal to big O of Gn. Now, here I am saying that Fn is bounded by Gn. Here Gn is n. Now, can I say that Fn, that 3n plus 2 is also bounded by n square, is also bounded by n cube, is also bounded by n4. Can I say that? Please let me know. Patel is saying yes, Arpit is saying yes. So first we determine C, then n is calculated. C value is assumed by looking at the question problem. Yeah, sir, you are correct. Yes, Malar is saying yes. It is not asymptotically equal, so answer is no. See, when I am saying that 3n plus 2 is smaller than equal to, when I can say that 3n plus 2 is big O of n, it means it is smaller than equal to 2 for C and for some n. For n, when for n it is smaller, then for C n square also it will be smaller. For C n cube is also be smaller. C n4 is also be smaller. So it is correct. It is correct. In GATE exam they will give you. So but we take tighter upper bound. That is your tighter upper bound, that n. Okay, see, I have written in the beginning, big O is upper bound. Okay, and this is your tighter upper bound. So first write it. Tightest bound we can say, or least upper bound we can say, least upper bound. So always go according to the definition. It is saying that you can say Fn is equal to big O of Gn when Fn is smaller than equal to Cgn. So if it is smaller than n, then it must be smaller than n square, then it must be smaller than n cube, n to the power 4. Is it clear, Binay and all? Everyone? Now is it clear? So write, therefore Gn equal to, after this write, Gn equal to n square or n cube or 2 to the power n. It is exponential, it is also bigger number, okay? So all this function, write is first. So all this function n square, n cube, n 2 to the power n, 2 to the power n will definitely bound 3n plus 2. Okay, will definitely bound 3n plus 2, but we have to keep in mind that always big O is upper bound, but we always go for least upper bound. So for any function, if they want you, what is the upper bound of that? So you give the least upper bound, but greater than is also correct. Okay, go for least upper bound or tightest bound, and here the tightest bound is n. Here the tightest bound is n. Hope it is clear to all. Anyone having any doubt in big O, you can ask me now. No doubt, Patel is saying okay. So another question, I am saying that 5 is big O of 6, it is big O of 7, it is big O of 8. I am just taking a number. So please let me know whether it is correct or not. 5 is big O of 6, it is big O of 7, it is big O of 8. So now we will see, we have seen big O, the upper bound. Then we seen the tightest upper bound, least bound. Okay. So now we will see small, that is your small big O.